thank you for joining me, John. Obviously, you're speaking with me just a few days after the big announcement of your son Tyson's fight against Francis Ngannou. I just want to get your initial thoughts on the big fight.
Yeah, I just think it's the right thing to do. Everyone else is tied up. Usyk had his chance at 30%, but never took it. So he's got a riskier job for a lot less money. But that's down to bad business on their part. But yeah, I think he's done the right thing. It's a keep busy thing. It's a bit of fun, and it's a good payday again. So yeah, and let's not forget this is a business, and let me tell you, Tyson's a good businessman. And I think he's making all the right noises. It's what people want nowadays. I think they want something a bit different, and Tyson's going to deliver because he's seen that, like I've seen it. That people now, I think it's time for a bit of a change. You've got the gearbox. You've got to go from one thing to the other, and that's what Tyson's trying to do here. It's like Francis Ngannou, he's a big name himself. And Muhammad Ali did the same thing when he was lineal champion against a Japanese fella. I remember it very well. So yeah, he's doing nothing wrong. And at the end of the day, he's been a long time out the ring, and it's a walk to the ring. It's a great evening in a great country of Saudi in Riyadh. It should be a spectacle. And I'm looking forward to it, to be honest.
You mentioned obviously it'll be a very different sort of opponent. What are your thoughts on Francis as a challenger? I don't know if you've watched any of his past UFC and MMA fights in general. What are your thoughts on him?
Well, he's a big, strong lad, isn't he? And it's a, what can you say? It's just a crossover fun fight, isn't it? It's a fun affair. You know what I'm saying? It's a different world from defending his WBC title and all that kind of thing. But listen, it's what people want. It brings eyes to screens, and it puts bums on seats. So if that's what it does, that's the name of the game. It's a business again. It's a money-making business. And you know what? It's great for both boys. He's getting well paid, Francis Ngannou. Probably his career best, highest payday. And like I say, Tyson is doing something he enjoys doing, crossing over.
With this fight, I believe there's sort of a lot of questions being asked in terms of, is it going to go on either of their professional records? Do you know?
I've no idea. I've not looked into it. That's not my business. That's down to the legal team. But I've no idea. All I know he's fighting him. He knows about as much as me, and all I can say really, it's a good move for both boys, isn't it? And and like I say, it's a breath of fresh air. Let him do something different, isn't it? He can always come back and defend his WBC title when people's free. At the minute, all the top 3 or 4's tied up anyway. Ruiz wanted too much money. He beat Wilder 3 times already, so nobody wants to see that. Usyk didn't want it at all. He scarpered to Saudi Arabia. And Joshua don't want to fight either. So what can Tyson do? He's not going to sit on his hands, is he? And he's not getting no younger. He's 35 in August. So I think he's doing the right thing. And he's having a bit of fun this time. It's all about fun and games. He's having it this time. And good luck to him. Fair play.
What do you make of the people who say this is making a mockery of boxing and it's a Mickey Mouse fight and Tyson should be fighting, as they say, a ranked real challenger?
Well, he's beat everybody out there. He's the best in the world. And I think people just saw, because there's a lot of green-eyed monsters about, aren't they? And most of it's jealousy. Because anybody with a brain will know it's a good business move. It's a good payday. I think the people that make comments is people what's irrelevant, really. I know fans are what we want, but what can he do? What can he do? No one wants to fight the kid. So this opportunity presented itself, and he took it with both hands. And why not? And there's only the great country of Saudi can put these fights on now, because they're blowing everything out the water. The rest of the world can't compete with Saudi Arabia. Not a chance. So, people, today is making comments about things they don't really understand. But if you look into it in depth, Muhammad Ali did the same thing when he was lineal champion. What's he doing wrong? He can't get a fight. There's no mandatories. So what does he do? Sit on his hands to please the public? I don't think he's going to do that. That's why it's called professional boxing. It's about money and business. And, that's it. Good luck to him. There's no more you can say. But really, I can understand where the true boxing purists are coming from. But today, like I've said all along, the politics in this game, it has become all about politics and money. And I'm afraid most of the people are right. It can spoil the job, because people don't want to fight. There's only Tyson wants to fight. You know, and the rest don't want to fight really, because like Usyk, he throwed away career highest payday. You know, he's taking a far bigger risk with Daniel Dubois. Because let me tell you now, Dubois could out him. Dubois could pull an upset. He's got the size, he's got the power, risky job. Like I say, if I was managing Usyk, it wouldn't have been a call I would have made. It's daftness when they could have had a lot of money for fighting Tyson in April. But you know what? They think they know best, don't they? But now they know they don't know best. You know, because Tyson's the biggest name in sport. Whether they like him or lump it, he's the biggest name in heavyweight boxing. You know, and at the end of the day, everyone wants to see him, whether it's in an exhibition, crossover fight, defending his title, love him or hate him. He puts bums on seats and eyes on TV screens. Do you agree?
For sure. And whilst you were touching on that fight there with Usyk and Dubois, how do you see that going? I know you sort of touched on it, saying that you could see Daniel pulling off the upset. Do you feel like it would be close?
You can't write out 18.5 stone, 6'4" giants with power. He's only got to catch Usyk. You know, and I've seen things in Usyk public I haven't seen. You know, and to be honest with you, if he gets up close to him, makes it a rough night for Usyk, he'll stop Usyk. But if he tries to box him, it'll be Usyk on points, and Usyk could stop him. But if he gets rough and tough with him, uses his advantage, his body size, his punching power, I can see an upset. But it's got to be done right. It's got to be done right. But if it's executed right, you'll see a new champion of the world. Well, for his belts anyway, not Tyson's. Let's see if they can get it right. I don't think they can myself, but let's just see. I hope Don Charles can get it right.
When Frank Warren was discussing how the Fury and Usyk fight fell through again, he was sort of hoping that it could maybe take place in January. Do you sort of share the same outlook? Do you still think this fight maybe next year instead?
Well, we're only in the 7th month of the year. The world may end by January, so I'm not looking that far in the future. We can only look today and tomorrow. That's it. You know, no one knows what's going to happen in January. Anything could happen, might have another lockdown, anything. We wasn't expecting a lockdown. It come overnight, didn't it? So we can't look that far in future. You know, so I don't know. It's up to them, innit? I'm not really interested in what they do, really. You know, because at the end of the day, Tyson does his own thing. He's his own businessman. You know, everybody works for the big GK. You know, and he really don't need him, does he? What does he need Frank Warren for? I say not, but that's up to him. But listen, that's just my opinion. An old bald-headed fat man like me with a grey beard.
In regards to Tyson and Francis' fight, I'm guessing you plan to go out to it. And I wanted to ask, while talking about money, do you think it will be Tyson's highest payday, or a previous fight maybe trumps that?
To be honest with you, I don't really go them paydays. It's up to Tyson and his legal team. You know, he's obviously happy what he's getting, but whether it's his highest career payday, I've no idea. I don't know. You'll have to ask Tyson.
I know you were quite outspoken about, you know, the yes men surrounding Tyson, and you feel like he maybe should have a few people changed in his team. Do you still kind of stand by those comments, and maybe he needs people different for him this next fight? What do you think about that?
Again, you know, I stand by what I say. You know, if a man traitors you and turns his back on you and tells lies on you, they've got to go, haven't they? But that's up to Tyson, not me. I'm old-fashioned man, me. You know what? Going back to Sugar Hill, what he said there, he's not training Tyson, was a lie. And he had no need to say that. And I'm waiting to see him to his face to tell him it's a lie as well. You know, and at the end of it, it probably cause problems. I don't care what it causes. He's getting told off me one way or the other. You know, but you know, he'll probably avoid me. It's in his best interest to avoid me, because I won't have them snakes. I won't have them near me. There's a world full of them. Be straight. You know, he was living in Tyson's house. He had his missus there. He was eating Tyson's food. He was using Tyson's gym. He watched all the sparring partners get flew in. You know, where was he coming from with that bullshit? You know, so I stand what I say. He's down the road, as far as I'm concerned, but it's not my call, it's his. If he had any sense to get rid of him. He's not doing a good job for other fighters, is he? You know, what's he doing for other people? You know, the woman got beat. Everybody's been in the corner, but he's lost. It's just that Tyson's that good. A pigeon could train Tyson. Honestly, he's that good. Give him a drink of water, wash his gums, you let him go, wind him up and let him go. All them expensive trainers are not needed. And that's where I'm coming from with it, and I'll stand by what I say. But it's not my call. I'm just a man who's voicing his opinion. You know, and that's what people like about me. I say it as it is. For my money, I don't want to see him again. End of. It's not my call.
I think most people were surprised because it seemed like Tyson, maybe they still do have a good relationship, but it seemed like they had a really good working relationship, and he sort of grew this new fighting style out of Tyson.
We did until he made that comment. You know, I couldn't sing his praises high enough. You know, Tyson got on with him. You know, we thought he was a family friend, not just a trainer. But it just goes to show you, never take people to your heart because you don't know them. And to me, that was just terrible what he did. And I don't forgive people. I don't forget and forgive. I don't do anything like that. If you've done something wrong, jog on, because you'll do it again and again and again. It's in your makeup to do it, you know. And let's put it this way: he made a fool of himself, because he's no great trainer, believe me. And I'll tell him to his face. Because if he was, he's done nothing for Okolie. Okolie's lost his world title to a kid what's average at best. Bill Smith's a good fighter, but for me, you know, world class, elite fighters, no. He's a great fighter, don't get me wrong, and done well to win, and good luck to the kid, you know, but I understand the game, but a lot of people don't. And like I say, if you can't be with your man, and look at the woman the other night in the Savannah Marshall fight, didn't do much for her with it, but did they? All got beaten, you know. And his other man, Ben Whittaker, his gas tank was awful. Kid's not fit. He opened up in Florida. He's not to take a round off to get his win back, or else he'd have stopped that kid. He wasn't fit. Wasn't fit. Because every time he unloaded with a combination, he had to take a minute off to get his win back. You know, he had no two-phased attack because he weren't fit. My opinion only. Whether what it for, it's worth watch the fight yourself. When he unloaded, he couldn't sustain the attack. He had to take a round off and reset it all up again because his conditioning wasn't there. You know, if you, for a man like the opponent, was a good, strong man, yeah, he was a good, strong fella, but a two-phased attack from a man of that quality would have got rid of him. So that's just my opinion again. But listen, it's horses for courses. For me, if I'm with you, I'm with you. I'm not going to talk about you behind your back or whether you're flavoured a month or not. You know, I'm not going to desert you because the public might have a few bad things to say about you recently. I'm not going to desert you. But that's what they do, isn't it? But Tyson will see it all, and in time, Tyson will smell the coffee and realise what they are in his own time. Because you can't tell him. See, I'm an old man, me. I'm 58 years old, and I've been around the block a lot, and I've seen all kinds of people. And the difference in between me knowing my job and not knowing my job, I'd have been dead 35 years ago. That's the difference. That's the life I've had. If I couldn't judge character, I'd have been dead 35 years ago. It sums it up, doesn't it? Well, there you have it. It's my opinion.
I spoke with Eddie Hearn the other day, and he sort of obviously gave comments about this fight, and he doesn't think it will be competitive, and he believes that Joshua Whyte 2 will sell more pay-per-view buys than this fight. Do you think the same or not?
That man's a total idiot. I said it before. He's a total, utter idiot. And the only thing wrong with him is jealousy. He's not put it together. Because he did say he was the only man what could make a fight happen in Saudi. Well, how much egg has he got on his face today? The man's not worth listening to. The man ain't worth listening to. He doesn't know what he's talking about. If he knew what he was talking about, Joshua would still be a world champion. Those men's idiots. It's been proven. And the only thing what's wrong with him, he's not promoting it. And he hasn't put it together. The man's a total idiot. Enough said about him.
How do you see that rematch with Joshua and Whyte going down?
It is what it is, isn't it? I think AJ will knock him out. You beat a man once, you'll beat him again. That's my motto. But, you know, Whyte's on the slide, ain't he? You know, he's had a lot of hard fights. The kid, let me say one thing about him, though. He's been a good heavyweight contender, hasn't he? He's give everyone problems. You know, and I think the kid's been unlucky not to land a world title, but he's at the end of his career. And if AJ's got anything left in the tank, he should stop him. He should have a repeat. You know, you don't know, it's heavyweight boxing. one shot on the chin, isn't it? And
Speaking of
if it's already set in stone what's going to happen, but which one is it? One goes forward, one retires. Simple as that.
speaking of one shot on the chin, a lot of people feel that that's the only way Francis can win this fight. Do you feel like there's no other way for him to win than just landing that one big punch?
Francis Ngannou.
Yeah.
Well, the big men out there, the giants of men, aren't they? You know, you wouldn't want to clap around the ear off him if you. Let's put it this way: if you're not on clock and watching what you're doing, he catches you full on. He'll knock you clean out the ring. That fella. He's a monster, isn't he? He's one scary dude. I think he's even uglier than me. But you know what? It's a spectacle. You know, like I say, you switch off with a giant like that. And he's a big, rough, tough boy, isn't he? Big, rough, tough fella. You know, and I always say, it's just, what can I say? They can cause problems because you can't train for that kind of person, can you? What sparring could you get for him? I don't know. It's pot luck, isn't it? It's pot luck. But you know, it's only a fun fight at the end of the day. There's nothing on the line. There's no belts on the line, is there? But don't get me wrong. All these fights, what they say is exhibitions and all that, they're not exhibitions. When that bell goes, they're trying to kill each other. They've all got a point to prove. They've got egos, haven't they? You know, and the egos kick in and the rules go out the window. You know, I think it'd be a big, rough, tough rollabout, won't it, really? You'll probably see a few takedowns as well. You know, it'll be good to watch. But don't forget, we're on a different format here now. It's not conventional boxing. It's not in the same ballpark as that. You know, it's something different. You know, and we don't know how anybody will fare because it's new to Tyson. He's probably not done anything like that before. Like I say, horses for courses. You know, one's trying to box and one's trying to do what he does. But listen, just watch it and see, innit? Whatever happens, what doesn't happen, it'll be a fun night to watch. You know, like every other fight is. You know, they're all fun. It's like AJ and White. It's all good watch. It's all good viewing, isn't it? Somebody's getting knocked out, aren't they? And that's why people pay to watch heavyweights, because there will be a knockout 9 times out of 10, won't there? And that's what they tune in to see. You know, in their case, it's both heavyweights. You know, I think White's on the slide. AJ's got a lot more to offer, I do believe. You know, but it's whether they can get it out of him or not, I don't know. You know, but I think if they get the combination right with AJ, I just think he may win another world title, me. I really do. We had to beat Usyk, but the corner didn't have it in them. They didn't have the brains. They don't see what I see. You know, and he had Usyk in all kinds of trouble in that fight. The corner didn't know it, neither did AJ. But that's what it is, isn't it? We'll see. Time will tell.
Moving
like
from
I say, I always watch the heavyweights.
moving from one of your sons with Tyson to another in Tommy, I believe he's supposed to have a big fight announced soon with KSI. Where are we with those fight talks? Is that announcement coming imminently or not?
Well, we're waiting. You know, we're so close, but again, you know, my rules and their rules are totally different. You know, there's one obstacle, you know, they've got to clear. You know, and that's the money. And as soon as we get confirmation on the money, it's all systems go, isn't it? That's it. At the minute, money is hard to find and hard to put up. But that's their job. I'm sure they can do it. But that's the only thing what's stopping us at the minute. I'll tell you straight, I'm not hiding nothing. Come up with the dollars, we're fighting. If they don't, we're not.
Where do you see Tommy sort of going after this? Because it feels like this is the last sort of YouTuber opponent for him before he returns to the professional scene. Is that sort of what you want for him too?
No, I don't think so. No, I think he's got this one, and I think there's talks with the Logan Paul, the older brother of Jake Paul, and there's the Jake Paul rematch. And as soon as they're out of the way, you know, if he wants to carry on in conventional boxing, that's up to him. You know, but it don't pay. Conventional boxing ain't paying, is it? It just don't pay. You know, because and they just don't get the figures, the viewing figures that the MMA stuff does, or this crossover misfits job or whatever it is. You know what you want to call it? These crossover fights. You know, the crossover fights are getting more eyes and more numbers in. They pay better. And nobody likes getting punched in the mouth, do they? So you might as well make as much money out of it as you can, or getting punched in the mouth. You know, she's got them things to do, and we'll look at that again when we come to it. Because again, I won't look that far ahead. Let's concentrate on what we're doing today, or in the up and coming near future. It's too far away. At the minute, we're looking into the KSI thing. We're nearly there. It's up to them. You know what they want to do.